Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out.
And let's talk about what lessons about.
Let's hang out.
And let's listen to 2 lesbians shout.
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out.
Hey guys, welcome to Let's Hang Out, a podcast that definitely does not have a 5-year plan. From the East Coast, out in Boston, I'm your co-host, Ellie Brigida.
And out on the West Coast, I'm your co-host, Lee Holmes Foster.
And welcome to episode 16, our 4th installment of Lez-ssentials.
Lez-ssentials is a recurring segment on the show where we dive into classic lesbian movies or shows. And just as a reminder, we are now writing and recording original songs for each of the Lez-ssentials movies that we do. So remember to stick around till the end to listen to that.
And for this Lez-ssentials episode, we're going to be breaking down a more recent lesbian classic, Carmilla.
So for anyone who's not familiar with Carmilla, it is a 2017 movie. It was written by Alejandro Alcoba and Jordan Hall, and directed by Spencer Mabey, and stars Natasha Negovanless and Elise Bauman. And the great blurb that I found for this movie, which I love because it's so vague, is Laura and Carmilla enlist help from their old friends from Silas University to uncover a supernatural threat.
I mean, I guess it describes the movie, but to me it's like, Carmilla's exes come back to the dead and her current girlfriend has to deal with it, right?
Yeah. Which is like a classic lesbian story, I think.
It's too classic, right? When your vampire girlfriend's exes come back from the dead, it's just like,
I mean,
something you
we've all
gotta
been
deal
there.
with, yeah.
If I had a dime for every time. I think the reason it's so vague for anyone who isn't familiar with Carmilla is Carmilla, the movie, is a continuation of Carmilla, the web series. So if you haven't checked that out, it is definitely worth watching. It is up on YouTube on Kinda TV's channel. And the web series is 3 seasons, a lot of growth, a lot of heart. Mm-hmm. It's certainly worth checking out, and it's great background to go into the movie with. And there's a couple reasons that I love that we're doing Carmilla. One of them is sort of precisely that. Carmilla's such a great story in terms of the best case scenario for kind of indie queer content out there. How you can watch the web series grow in terms of, from the very beginning of that first season, it's just one tiny little room that they're all kind of shoved into all the time, barely fitting sometimes, how much it grows every season, and then watching it grow into this full-length movie, I think it's a great journey that you can go on with this little series,
I mean, if you look at the first episode, there are over 1 million views on that one episode, and that's crazy. Yeah. And I love this too because I got super into Carmilla. Like, one of my friends told me about it and I just binged the crap out of it because it's such a binge-worthy web series. Most of the characters are queer. No one makes a big deal about the fact that they're queer. They're just all queer. And that's the kind of content that we want people to be making. So, of course, and I'm glad that this whole community has supported that web series and they're at the point where they are now and they're, lesbian famous.
The other reason that I love that we're doing this, Ellie, because Carmilla was one of the first conversations that you and I had. It must have been right around when you were binging it, that you were telling me about the series, and it was like the first time that I think we realized how much we sort of tended to geek out about the same types of things.
Yeah, how freaking lesbian we are.
So I just remember you telling me about it and how obsessed you were with it, and then I went home and binged it. I think that was sort of what started a lot of the conversations that you and I had about realizing how, how into a lot of the same kind of super queer stuff we are. And that's what led us here.
Maybe we should talk about this. Here we are. Thanks, Carmilla.
Here we are. Thank you, Carmilla. We owe you this podcast because I think without that conversation, we wouldn't have known. We might not have gotten here. So
cute. All right, do we want to dive into this actual movie?
Let's do it.
So we start with our intro, which I love because it's just so Laura Hollis. Her journalist side coming out and giving everyone the lowdown of what happened in the past 5 years and how they got to this movie. And she's just so cute. And then at one point she just says, Carm and I fell in love. And I just lost it. It's so cute.
I love this opening scene because it's, for anyone else who's a musical theater nerd the way that I am, and that I know Ellie is, if you've seen the show Urinetown, there's this great line in sort of the opening number with Officer Lockstock and Little Sally, where he says, careful, little Sally, nothing kills a show like too much exposition. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love, is that that's all this scene is, right? Yeah. It's just exposition. Yeah. It is just, and it's super like journalistic vloggy. Like you almost feel like it should open with a little like, like breaking news. Yes. Kind of thing.
That is Laura. She's this little journalist just trying to make it in the world.
And I love it because they pull it off, and they kind of have to, because I think what they're trying to do is to make the movie accessible for people who haven't watched the web series. I mean, you have to assume there's going to be people who don't have the whole background, and so they're trying to lay out 3 seasons of a YouTube series in, a couple minutes.
Yeah. Towards the middle of the movie, Kirsch says, "Wow, we have a lot of backstory, huh?" They sort of poke fun at themselves, which is what I loved about the web series. It's so campy. Yeah, of course it's dramatic. Like, the things they get into are so dramatic, but it's also, like, cheesy and fun. And they are not afraid to make fun of themselves, which I love.
Right, and it's great. I mean, they have their little faces popping up, so they're giving you the character names, It's just because they're like, we're not going to introduce them again. You just need to know who these people are, so here they are. Yeah. And they have a lot of footage, and what I love about it is, as you transition into the first real scene of the movie, and the first scene in the movie is a dream sequence of Laura's.
Yes, which is number 1 on our drinking game rules.
Yes, and is number 1 dream sequence of many dream sequences, so good luck with that drinking game already, you guys.
Godspeed.
We do not take it easy on anyone.
We really don't. We really don't. I'm sorry.
So our first of many Laura dreams, and what I love is one of my first notes from when we watched this is, especially coming out of the exposition scene where they have footage from the web series and everything, it's so exciting to see like actual camera shots, where they're not just in a single frame, because that's what all 3 series of the web series had. It kind of brings the characters so much more to life to me. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and it also just shows like how far they've come, like the increase in production value as the fans have increased, as their funding has increased. Yeah, and it's exciting. It's really exciting to see, this little web series that could on the big screen. It's so cool. Yeah, I love it.
But, the sets got bigger, the effects a little bigger and a little better. Mm-hmm. And then, it's just, the jump from season 3 to here is so big.
And we're going full out now. And it's so cool. Yeah. And I also would just like to give a shout out to the wardrobe in this.
Yes.
Like Laura's dress, and we will see that dress again. Heck yeah, we will. It's just, it's awesome. And she looks beautiful. And then we also see, speaking of beautiful, Dom, baby.
I have a note in this scene that just says, "Oh, hey, Dom."
I literally was like, Dom in the mirror. Yes. Yes. And for those of you who don't know, this is Dominique Provost-Chockley, who plays Waverly Earp on Winona Earp. And she's one of our favorites. And it was just so exciting to see all of these actresses on screen together.
And she's fantastic in this.
Oh, she's wonderful.
It's super exciting to see her, because she doesn't actually show up as a character for a little bit in the movie. And so I love that they sort of like tease her in there. Yeah. I think she was a huge get for them in the cast. She's a fantastic actress. Yeah. And also very popular and very well known in the queer community, And so I love that it's like within the first couple minutes of the movie, they're like, oh, and Dominique's here.
And we're like, thank God.
Yeah. But you were mentioning the dress and the Victorian wear, and I think that's the other thing that I love the very next scene, which is when Carmilla and Laura are sort of, debriefing about this dream in their apartment, which is so cute. I love their little domestic
They're
bliss
so
on their
domestic.
couch. But I just love that Carmilla has this one comment about corsets. And so I just thought that was fantastic in terms of also foreshadowing. They're just foreshadowing a lot in this intro.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh, Dom's coming. Oh, BT dubs, corsets are coming.
And you're like, yes, bring on the corsets, people. Yes. But yeah, I also loved, they were just sitting on the couch, watching TV or whatever, just like any normal couple. And Laura says, hello, rom-com. And I'm like, oh, but we're like, this is not going to be a rom-com, honey. It's okay.
No. It's like a ghosty thriller rom-com.
Sure. Yeah, that's a new genre.
Yeah. I think that's actually a Netflix category. Oh, I just have some notes on the intro music. One, because I love that you get to hear the theme song, because it's something that you don't actually hear a lot in the web series. You hear it at the end of every season. But Carmilla has a fantastic theme song, and if you haven't seen the video of Natasha and Elise singing it together, you should look that up, because they're awesome. And I just have this great note that says, what's with the creepy doll hands? Because I just didn't get the intro sequence, because there's just a lot of little hands.
Oh, I think they were just trying to be this is a creepy movie. Let's make a creepy intro. I don't know. And little doll hands are creepy,
We have another dream sequence.
Yes.
You want to kill all our drinking game listeners.
Yes, drink again, people. Actually, wait, I was gonna skip that dream. Sorry.
Oh, you're gonna skip the bloodbath dream? Wasn't there such a great thing about Natasha having to film that scene? Because they dunk her in a whole tub of blood, right?
Yes, I do have Carmilla bathing in blood. So creepy. But it just freaked me out. It makes me feel uncomfortable. So I'm just, which I guess was the point.
I wonder what they dunked her in. I've seen some of the things about what they made the blood in the show out of, some of the things that they made her drink during the series. I'm curious what they dunked her in, because it looks unpleasant to be in.
It did not look fun. Well, my next thing was more about their domestic bliss and the apartment.
Oh, okay.
And I just love, the props department did a killer job. Laura's freaking TARDIS coffee cup.
Yes, I love that they kept the TARDIS mug.
Just the little things that they put together in that apartment to make it so, perfectly both of them.
Okay, which also, I would like to point out, because we haven't talked about ClexaCon enough lately,
Of course,
you guys.
yeah.
So I would like to say, at the Holstein panel at ClexaCon, where someone asked, I think it was a fan question, someone asked who they would cosplay as.
Yes.
The characters, if Carmilla and Laura went to a convention and cosplayed, who would they cosplay as? I think they would cosplay where she would go as the 13th Doctor and Natasha would go as one of the companions. I don't know which companion.
Yes.
But that would be my vote, is because I think she'd be a Doctor Who person, because she's got her little TARDIS mug.
She obviously is. Yeah. We go into her vlog.
Yes.
Which is the highlight of my life.
And I love that you see it from behind the scenes for once,
Yes.
right? You're so used to seeing her little vlog scenes from the show, and I love that now you get to see her little, she does her little trail off, and then I'm gonna put a thing here, and then we'll cut to this.
Yes, I know, I love it.
Great.
I think it's also super relatable, right? Where, you end the series and you're like, okay, well, what's gonna happen for them? And Laura's wanting to be this crazy, amazing journalist, and she's getting there. I mean, she's 25, right?
Yeah.
She's just a local news reporter. She just keeps reporting on food. I don't know. I just think it's really relatable that these people have dealt with some crazy supernatural shit, right?
Yeah.
But also down to their core, they're people, especially Laura is, because Carmilla, is a person now, but was a vampire.
Right.
But she's a person with plans.
A lot of
plans. And I just think she's very endearing and relatable.
How long of a plan exactly?
5-year plan, baby.
A 5-year plan. And not just a 5-year plan, a 5-year plan that is mocked up and put on a board.
Which is
a little
ridiculous.
craft. She has a little scrapbook 5-year plan board, and I love it. Also, shout out to one of the items on that 5-year plan, which is Buffy Marathon. Yes.
I also wrote that down. Good catch, Lee. I was Buffy Marathon.
Yes.
Yup. Yeah, and
check.
Comic-Con with Carmilla was on it too.
Yes.
And I was trying so hard to focus on the movie, but also I was what? There are so many things that I want to read on this 5-year plan. It was so great.
we'll watch it again and we'll just pause on it
Yeah.
and write down everything on it, and we'll make that our 5-year plan.
Yeah. It also made me be like, what's my 5-year plan? All right, we're not going to go there. We're going back to the movie. But yeah.
I think it's accurate though. It's a good 5-year plan because I always say that's the first thing I did with my wife when we started dating is to make her watch all of Buffy with me. So I think that's a perfectly valid 5-year
Part of your
life
5-year,
plan.
yeah.
Start with Buffy Marathon.
Oh, yeah. I already got that down, so feel like I'm doing
Good,
okay.
check. You're on your way.
Yeah. Another part of the drinking game is every time Laura says plans. So,
Which is also gonna
yeah, really get you.
mess you up.
Really get you. Carm comes back. I just like that I called her Carm, like we're like best friends. Carmilla comes back, and this also, like, the amount of kissing they do is ridiculous.
And this is such a good one.
It is such a good kiss when she
The chocolate on the lip. We're like 10 minutes into the movie. Give us a chance.
I love it. They're giving the people what they want. And also, like, that's, I don't know. I love that that's how they are. Like, they can't keep their hands off each other. It's so,
Even after 5 years.
oh, they're still
Aw.
there. Oh.
I have one last note on that scene, which I don't even remember how it comes up. I think it's when she makes the cake. Does she make Carmilla a cake?
Yeah, she
or
makes
something?
her a cake. Her rebirth day. I just love them in domestic bliss. But of course, like, we can't keep on in the domestic bliss forever.
No, and why not? It's time for another dream. Hooray. There's a lot of dream sequences in this movie.
That vampire sex dream, though. Because who hasn't had a vampire sex dream, you know?
There's a couple of those, too.
Yeah.
And this is where Carmilla bites her.
Yes.
I mean, it could have been sexy maybe in the dream until she wakes up and it's reality.
Yeah, and she is
No good.
Yeah, and she's really biting her. That was, bad.
No one wants to wake up to their ex-vampire girlfriend being a vampire again.
Yeah, and that was so rough. And you just see Carmilla's face being so upset that she just bit her girlfriend really hard. And
With vampire teeth
with
as well.
vampire
which
teeth.
Probably less than ideal, but leads to the introduction, well, at least the movie introduction, of two of our favorite characters.
Laugh and Perry!
Laugh and Perry. We have a great diagnostic scene with Laugh and Perry as they first show up and try to help us figure out what is happening to Carmilla.
Carmilla. They're examining her, and we're looking at her heart and her life force or whatever, and they start fighting over what is it called, right? It's her life force called her, what else?
Energy. One of them is an energy
and then they
something.
end up
Yeah.
on her spark, which
Her
I
spark.
love.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also love the just random casual mention that Laugh has a cyborg eye that never comes up again.
Yes.
I was kind of hoping that would come back at some point, like when they're fighting ghosts or something. Like, I wanted that to be something more, but apparently it's just this one scene. That was like their effects budget for that.
Yeah,
they're like, we have
okay,
enough money for one scene of the cyborg eye, and that's it. So
this is the only time we can actually use this effect, so here we go. Cool. I love Laugh and Perry. They're like an old married couple. Like, they're
Yes.
always bickering right from that first scene.
their diagnosis is something is happening to Carmilla's spark. So her spark that is keeping her human and no longer vampire is some sort of spell-based life force spark.
And it's going out.
And it's going out. Well, at least it's flickering. It's flickering in and out. They're worried it's going to go out. And when it flickers, she is a vampire again.
I love this sort of sequence where it's like showing how she's vamping out.
Yeah.
And at one point, she's just eating a squirrel. And she's like so happy about it. And I'm like, yes. So weird.
And she's eating a squirrel in a way that kind of mirrors the intro scene with her getting like a croissant or something from
Yes.
right. It's like the same thing, but it's just her with a tiny
with
little
a dead squirrel. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah.
So there we have it. There is the sort of central issue that's going to take up the movie is how do we solve the problem with Carmilla Spark?
Yes. For our Patreon supporters, we have viewing parties. And I think it was at this point that a Tegan and Sarah song came on as part of the soundtrack.
Yep.
I just needed to bring that up because we're in a viewing party with a bunch of other queer women and everyone's like, oh, Tegan and Sarah, yeah. And then Barbie and Rose, who are two of our patrons, just casually mention that their youngest daughter's middle name is Tegan. I was like, this is one of the
Lesbians.
gayest thing that's ever happened while watching a lesbian movie. So I just wanted to share that with all of you because it was a beautiful moment.
But also, Tegan and Sarah is not the last time that the soundtrack to this movie is just going to be on point.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack is killer. I love the soundtrack.
Their queer audience,
Yes.
you know. So yeah, I definitely have a note for that scene that just says Tegan and Sarah A+.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it so much. So we realize that Carmilla in the dream is saying to Laura all these things. And then when Laura says those things back to Carmilla, Carmilla remembers, oh, wait, those were things that I said to my ex-girlfriend. I feel like this might be real life.
Yeah. Because we've all been there, right? Where you're like, wait, I sent that message on Tinder to someone else as well.
Oh, God. Never. No copy and paste
Never.
on that. Yeah, but I'm also like, what a dramatic thing to be like, oh, damn. My girlfriend said to her ex, you are mine, you shall be mine. You and I are one forever.
Which also, can we just discuss, because here's the thing that I love about this. So we're gonna find out later on when we get there. But as soon as Elle found out that Carmilla was a vampire, they broke up.
Yeah,
right?
She was out.
Like, they were never together with, like, you know, Laura and Carmilla kind of started dating with full awareness on Laura's part that she was dating a vampire.
Yes.
Elle never had that. So what I would like to know is, like, what kind of kinky stuff were they doing that, like, that was a totally normal conversation?
Right?
Because it seems kind of, like, dark and vampiric to me.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, no, that's just her.
Yeah, and she's like, no, that was just our bedroom talk.
Yeah, she's
like,
just a little broody.
Kinky
What?
1800s bedroom talk, you guys.
Yeah, you are mine. You and I are
We
one
shall be one
forever.
forever. Yeah, right? As a result, they assemble the whole team and they have a little Toronto picnic out in the park where they get everyone together now. So they have Laugh and Perry are back. They have Kirsch is there. I love
Yes.
Kirsch. Also the only dude in this movie,
Yeah.
which is great. Kirsch always holding it down. Mel is there. It's like the whole team's back together and it's so
Yes.
exciting. My other note on this scene is I love that Carmilla rocking a choker like it's 1999.
Well, she's a vampire, so like she can do whatever she wants with her style, right?
I know. Is that a thing though? Like, are chokers back? Is that?
Oh,
those
chokers
coming
are
back?
so back.
Is that?
Yeah, the
I don't know.
90s are
I don't know how I
back.
feel about that.
For real. Yeah. I've definitely worn a choker out, not gonna lie.
Ooh, there needs to be photos of that. Are there photos?
Yeah. I might be able to find them.
Well,
yeah.
see if we can dig some.
Because,
up.
yeah, it was
dig up
pretty
some Ellie in a
recent.
choker.
So,
photos.
yeah.
Even if I go back to the 90s, I don't think I have photos of me in a choker.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a day.
Well, you heard it here first. Chokers are back.
They're back,
So-
people.
Or at least I heard it here first.
Yeah.
I am out of the loop, you guys.
But yeah, then this brings us into our travel sequence, which I love. And I think this also was one of the previews.
Oh, was it? The back to Styria?
Yeah, it was like a promo, I think, of them, because this is like another part where they just dig into the camp.
Oh, the slow-mo scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because yes, now we realize, okay, the dreams are real. Elle is trying to communicate. We need to go back to Elle's manor in Styria, which
Yes.
Carmilla has not been back to in a very long time. And so they're like, all right, let's all travel to Styria. And then it's them with all their suitcases and looking so badass and cool. And then the record scratch. This is way too far of a walk to get to this freaking manor.
But before that, they have the travel sequence that's a little overlay, like the map.
Oh,
with the
yes.
the little flight line. And what I love about that is it reminded me of Anastasia. Did you ever see Anastasia?
Yes.
And there's that whole sequence when they're like going to Paris finally.
Yes.
And that's what it reminded me of. It made me super nostalgic. So my wife had not seen it. We watched it this year because she was not nearly impressed enough with how I knew every single word to every single song in the entire movie of Anastasia.
Yeah.
Despite not having seen it in like a decade. But I love that movie. It holds up, you guys. It holds. It
definitely
stands the
does.
test of time.
Anastasia should have been gay.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/lezhangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lezhangout.
Let's hang out.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
At Radiolab, we love nothing more than nerding out about science, neuroscience, chemistry.
But we do also like to get into other kinds of stories. Stories about policing or
Politics,
country music,
hockey,
sex, of bugs.
Regardless of whether we're looking at science or not science, we bring a rigorous curiosity to get you the answers.
And hopefully make you see the world anew.
Radiolab, adventures on the edge of what we think we know.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.
Next. But yeah, then we finally do get to Elle's Manor.
Yes.
And it's creepy as all hell. The schloss. What does Perry say? Like, what a fine example of a schloss.
Yeah.
And then Kirsch goes, huh, schloss. And I was like, honestly, same Kirsch. Like, yeah. I think I'm the dude bro in this scenario.
I also love the first scene in the schloss. It's such good lighting. There's a lot of scenes in here where it's just, again, I'm sort of geeking out over watching them get to do this with, like, real shots and real, cameras and real everything. And yeah, the lighting in this scene was excellent. Yes. With the dust and the everything and this sort of very diffuse. I loved it.
The lines here are incredible.
Yes.
Because they're talking about, what weapons to have and blah, blah, blah. And Mel just says, pretty sure weapons are the best weapons.
Because she brought her crossbow, whose name is Gertrude.
Yes. And which I love. Of course your crossbow is named Gertrude. And then you have Laura's best line of the whole movie, which is going to come back. I know Krav Maga. I am a weapon.
Which, little Laura Hollis saying that is just like the best thing ever. The other thing I love that just made me really happy is that Laugh is wearing a uniform for the company that they own with Perry, which is called LaFerry Industries. And so they just have on a LaFerry uniform the entire time, which I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Yes, LaFerry, yes.
Yes.
Where is it? Give it to us.
Everyone ships LaFerry, so let's just make it happen, people. Also, this is sort of a tangent, but not really. This is also when you walk in, one of the first times you see the portrait of Elle.
Yeah.
It is a really unflattering photo to me.
It doesn't look like her at all.
It does not look like Dom at all to me. I'm like, this is no, people. That's like, and it's my one complaint about the movie is that Dom picture.
And it's funny because it's there's two portraits that you see in this scene. There's the Dom portrait that doesn't look like her, and there's the
Natasha
Carmilla portrait, which does look like her.
It looks exactly like her, and she looks amazing. And I'm like, did the same person do these two portraits? And like, can somebody please fix Dom's face? Because like, you really did not do her justice in that portrait.
I have this note that just says like the Beauty and the Beast portrait, like why Carmilla's portrait just has this giant tear in it. A la Beauty and the Beast when he like shreds all the paintings in the house. Like why?
I'm guessing that Elle just slashed it. Like she was pissed.
But I love that it's not like a hand slash. So it's like, did she literally go out and get a knife?
Yeah, she must
and
have.
Like cut it.
Just cut it. Just cut it up.
Hardcore X anger, right?
A lot of repressed anger there. Yeah, for sure. Also, like to say the fact that her name is Elle. Elle is my legal name, so. E-L-L-E is how I would usually spell it, but I don't anymore because Ellie, but...
Good explanation,
Good
Ellie.
explanation.
Well,
but every time they say Elle, I'm like, it's me! Oh my god!
The movie's actually all about you.
Yeah, it is.
Fun fact.
I don't hate being played by Dom, so...
In the movie of your life, that's who you would choose to play you.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, she doesn't quite have the ginger thing going on. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, yeah, maybe Caparel.
I would obviously be Diego Luna.
Yeah, I could see that for you.
He's my celebrity lookalike. No one ever believes me until I Google it and show them a picture. And they're like, oh, you look a lot like Diego Luna.
Yeah,
and I say,
exactly like.
It's just good to know, you guys. It's good to have in your back pocket for, when they make your biopic. It's good to know who should play you.
Yeah. Please let us know who would play you in your biopic. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Oh, I would say biopic.
I think it's biopic.
Okay. Well,
if I'm wrong, someone will make fun of me and let us know.
I hope
so.
they do.
That's good. Probably my father.
Great.
Most likely, the first person to correct me would be my dad. So
yes. But yeah, speaking of exes, as we see Dom's picture, then we realize, oh, this whole place is haunted.
Ton of ghosts.
Ton of ghosts. Every single one of them is Carmilla's ex.
This schloss is just chock full of ghosts who used to date Carmilla.
Yep. There's a lot of them.
Two of whom are the Bronte sisters, which I love.
Yes. Oh.
And which I think they don't ever really say explicitly in any dialogue. I think they name them in the credits, but I mean, it's very obvious that they're supposed to be the Bronte sisters, and I kind of love it.
Well, now that you say that, it was not obvious to me at all. So clearly not.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Of course, Charlotte and Emily.
Did you not know that?
Now I know.
Oh, I think it's in the credits also. And that's why they have that line at the end about tuberculosis, because I think they both actually died of tuberculosis.
Oh my god, that all went over my head.
Oh, I feel so much better now about how many things in Imagine Me and you and Kelsey made fun of me for, like, as though I've apparently never seen the movie before.
But yeah, so then we see all these ghosts, and it's like, oh, all of Carmilla's exes, and then they're like, oh, do you want to have dinner?
And because I love it because they do it in this way where they are so campy and over the top with the dramatic thunder usage in that scene, right? So they keep having these things where they're like, boo, dark, ominous thunder, and then they'll like completely cut the thunder sounds and be like, we'd like to have you for dinner.
Yeah, and you're like, what the?
It's amazing. It's so cheesy and it's so over the top, but it just works. It just works. It works so well.
It really does. It really does. It brings us to the dinner party, and I just wrote, Carmilla drinking her wine is all of us. Because literally it's just Carmilla's sitting at a table with all of her exes, and she just is chugging her wine. Like, I gotta get out of here.
Like anyone would in that situation. She should just be doing, like, straight shots of whiskey or something.
Oh my god, yeah.
You're sitting at a table with a giant suckling pig in the middle with all your exes and your current girlfriend. It's every lesbian's nightmare, I think. It's what's happening.
It's every lesbian's wedding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lee. I could never let you live that down. But it's okay. I'm sure I'm going to have exes at my wedding. Let's be real. So it's
Of course
fine.
you will. Everyone does. There's also a great line from Perry where she says, "It's not polite to pry into others' unspeakable horror," which I just think is great.
The most awkward dinner party ever. But we do find out a little more, right, about why these things are happening.
Yes.
What they say is they move on and Carmilla stays human.
They have all been summoned quite recently from a nightmare dreamscape of their biggest regret.
Yes.
That they were all existing in, which sounds great. So that's what they lay out at dinner for our little Silas University gang to go back and sort of debrief in their room.
This is the scene, right, where Mel says, "I'm not dealing with that black girl dies first bullshit."
Yeah, that's when they go out to find Kirsch for his late night snack. But yes, that is a fantastic line.
Yes, yes, yes. Here you go. Carmilla is just like every single like shitty trope that's ever happened to non-binary people, queer people, people of color. Like, fuck you all. It's not happening here.
Not happening here.
And I love it.
My only note about them debriefing in the room before that, though, is that it's LaFerry fighting, and I hate it.
I know.
And they're having a fight about their company, and it makes me sad.
It's also part of the drinking game. I know we're sad about it, but every time they bicker, please drink. So here we go. Yeah.
So don't miss that one. But then, yes, they end up having to send someone out to go hunt down Kirsch because Kirsch has gone for a late night snack.
Of course.
Of course. Mel goes after him, and they then overhear Charlotte and Emily having a very suspicious conversation that we don't quite understand yet. But when they come out of the room, I love Kirsch and Mel hiding up against the wall.
Yes.
And like this awkward freeze frame. You know, no one can see me.
It just completely adds to all the perfect campiness of everything. I love it.
They do such a good job with kind of hitting that line every time, you know? It's never too campy. It's like just campy enough.
Yes. Some nice levity to all of these super dramatic things. And speaking of, then we have another dream sequence and Laura just goes, "This again? Really?" Like, yes.
Which anyone playing our drinking game is probably going to feel similarly already by this point.
Same, Laura, though. Too many dream sequences.
But this is a great dream sequence because, again, the dream sequences I actually thought were really well done, you know, where they're kind of playing with this abstract, symbolic things that keep happening where they're sort of giving you hints, but they're not completely clear what they are. There's the brooch and then the paper ring of girls.
Yeah, the ring of
paper
fire girls, yeah.
That starts burning away. Super not creepy at all.
Yeah, nothing in this movie. No.
Not a ominous warning or anything.
No, this is the one where Carmilla comes back and like being so cute, you know? Going to New York, right?
There's too many dreams to keep track of.
Honestly, way too many.
There's so many dream sequences, you guys. We're doing our best.
We're trying.
It's the ring of paper girls that burn away. And then what we find out is Emily and Charlotte's big secret that they were talking about is not super ominous. It's a ball. Hooray.
Yes, hooray. We're throwing you a party. Shout out to the costumes again because then we see Laura in this freaking gown again. I mean, we all know. We all know. This scene where Carmilla says 40 minutes to get you into that, bet I could get you out of it faster.
My literal note on this scene, it just says, hot damn period wear.
Yeah.
So good. So good. And she does get her out of it faster.
She does. And I'm like, the sex scene is so good, but a part of me is like, it took her so long to get into that. Come on.
Totally worth it.
I guess, yeah.
Totally worth it.
Definitely worth it.
First of all, again, soundtrack on point. Explode by Her.
Yes.
So good. Second of all, what a fantastic scene. I mean, I know this is like the super geeky lesbian in me that's gonna be like, let's talk about the staging and the cinematography of this lesbian sex scene.
True.
But it's really well done. And let's be honest, we do not get a lot of these.
Yes.
There's not a lot of well-done lesbian sex scenes because you watch so many movies or shows where you're just like, did they like not consult and
Any
lesbian.
Yeah.
In the making of this, like, you know, I think I remember it was one of the later Pretty Little Liars episodes where they show Emily and Allison in bed as part of, you know, like a montage of all the couples. And I think Heather Hogan's Autostraddle recap was just making fun of how their interpretation of lesbian sex is like your knees are touching.
Oh my God.
In a bed.
Well, yeah, no.
And that's what we get a lot of the time, you know?
And this is a good sex sequence. At one point, she kisses her knee, and, like, part of me is like, okay, I said that out loud, and I'm like, that doesn't sound sexy. But, like, when they do it, it's really sexy.
Yeah.
And then Laura goes underneath Carmilla's skirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just wrote...
Those big Victorian skirts.
I just wrote, I'm done. Many times. I'm done.
Ellie died a couple times this scene.
Well, and then I also feel like I really love when they show people's backs in sex scenes. Yeah. I mean, if they have like a good back. Laura has a good back. Weird. But you know what I mean? Like there's like that part where she has her shirt off and then like you have like the hands on the back.
No, the hands. So, okay. So I'm going to sidetrack us real quick on this because, oh my God. So let's talk about ClexCon just for a quick hot second, you guys. I have like a stack of business cards of artists from Artist Alley at ClexCon. And one of them, I know, she had a lot of Carmilla paintings and they're very like realistic, like not like hyper realistic, just like realistic paintings. And she has a beautiful painting of that shot of Laura's back with Carmilla's hands on it.
Yes,
and it is
I remember that.
Banging. It is so good. It was awesome. I would totally get a print of that. So if someone either happens to know off the top of their heads, or if I go through my stack of business cards and figure out who it was, I will post that on Twitter or something.
Yes.
It's a great shot. It's not just that it's a very accurate, I think, representation of actual lesbian sex, which we don't see a lot.
Yeah.
But it's just really beautifully done. It's very beautifully staged. It's very, like, artfully shot, that whole scene. And I just love it. Love it, love it, love it.
It's so good. And yes, of course it's hot. But yeah, it's, like, really, really well done for a lesbian sex scene. Like, it's very realistic and like gives us a good portrayal of that. But the only thing that was unrealistic, we leave that scene, Laura's hair looks fucking great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Girl was underneath.
Yeah, suddenly they're both dressed again.
Yeah, suddenly they're dressed. They look amazing. Like, come on. Girl was underneath her skirt. Like, I wanted her to go to that freaking ball and her hair is like so fucked up. Like,
yeah, right.
And you can just tell that they just had sex.
Yep.
But, you know, whatever.
Also, super subtle thing that I loved, which is when they're running down the stairs. So in that scene where it's like, oh, you know, now we finished, now we somehow got dressed again and we're running to catch the ball with everyone else. Mm-hmm. I just love that the only line that Carmilla has as they're running down the stairs is she just goes, I'm coming.
Oh my God.
And
yes.
I think that's such a great little super like subtle thing to slide.
Yes, I love
after that scene. That I just thought was hilarious. But they do finally make it to the ball. We don't know how late. We don't get a timeline on how long it took to get Laura back into that dress.
Clearly, we'll give them some time to fix her hair.
We'll give them some time. But then they're at the ball where everyone is in their, you know, Victorian wear and they all look amazing. Mel looks amazing, and she's having sparks a-flying everywhere with Charlotte.
Yes.
And I ship it so hard.
I love them so much.
Do they have a ship name? I feel like they might, and I don't know what it is, but I love them.
Mellet.
Is that it?
Charmel.
Charmel.
I like Charmel.
I could do Charmel.
Sounds like a Pokemon. But I like it.
I choose you, Charmel.
Charmel. Yeah, and I mean, they're great. And then you have Laugh and Perry dancing together. It's just like everyone is having a great time at the ball. Also, Charlotte has this great line that I love where she just says, if you have to conform, you never belonged. And I just love it. It's what I love about this movie. I mean, what we're saying about, you know, the sex scene and things like this, like these are the kinds of things that you get when you have queer people involved in the making of queer content. Yeah. It's accurate, and B, you get little lines like that where you're just like, yes. Yes. Yes, I love it. So yes, please have queer people involved in your projects, especially if they are projects about queer people or queer characters or queer topics, because we can tell. Yes. And we can really tell with this movie. It's very well done. Somebody shows up at the ball that we've been waiting for this whole time. Dom? Elle's at the ball. Elle's at the ball. Right, there's that whole scene where Laura's
seeing the woman in black. Who's the woman in black?
And we're like, we know who the woman in black is. Yeah. I'm just saying,
it is
I know
Elle.
it's bad, but like, I root for Elle in this movie.
You would.
I really do. I'm like, isn't Elle the protagonist? I'm sorry. But yes, we do sort of see Elle, but she doesn't make a full appearance, right?
Yeah, she doesn't really play her hand yet.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to, because we have to do the ritual.
The Ash Moon ritual, which I am just going to sidetrack us real quick because I did some research. Are you proud of me?
Yes, I'm so proud.
Okay, so I was curious if the Ash Moon was like a real thing because I'd never heard of that, right?
Yes, I haven't heard of it either.
I was like, the full moon? No?
Yeah.
Okay. The Ash Moon. And they kept showing the moon. So anyways, I did some quick Googling, and what I found is that there is a Celtic alphabet of Owam, spelled O-G-H-A-M, but apparently pronounced Owam.
Okay.
And it is an alphabet that is linked to native British trees. And so each tree has its own moon cycle and Owam symbol that goes along with it. And one of those is the ash. So they have lunar months, and there's one of them that's the ash moon, which is the third moon of the Celtic year. And what I love about this is the ash moon is symbolic of the world tree, which is representative of the inner and outer worlds being connected. So it says, in many mythologies, the ash represents connections, roots in the underworld, trunks in our Middle Earth, and branches reaching to the heavens and beyond. And meditating with the ash can help connect and understand the past. So I don't know if the writers actually did that research too when they came up with using the ash moon for this, but well played, guys. It was very good.
Wow.
I know.
That is far deeper.
Isn't it? Right?
Than I thought. Yeah.
I kept assuming it was just like a cheesy throwaway thing where they were like, this sounds fancy and...
This sounds cool.
Yeah, the ash moon. But, you know, someone might be super into Celtic mythology. So there you go. The ash moon that they are doing this ritual under, which is, you know, bringing together the underworld and the past and the present and all of Carmilla's past deeds and ex-girlfriends. I thought that was great. So there you go.
Thank you for doing that research, Lee. I'm really proud of you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
My researching girl.
Uh-huh. So they start their ritual, and they expect this ritual to be a ritual to free the spirits of all of the ex-girlfriends and restore Carmilla's spark and human life.
It's not going to do that, huh?
It is not the case, you guys. That is not what happens.
We're not far enough in the movie.
Nope.
We find out that this was Elle's plan all along to... all of the spirits start disappearing, right?
Burning away like the paper girls in the dream.
Oh, like the paper girls. Into ash, like the ash moon.
It's all happening, you guys. It's all coming together. It's all starting to make sense.
And then I just wrote, laugh, no!
I have that exact same note. Because it's not all the girls, right? La Fontaine jumps in and they push Charlotte out of the way and they get turned to ash instead.
Yeah.
And Perry's face is what all of us feel, which is, no, don't do it. Little laugh pile of ash, and it's the saddest thing ever.
It's so sad.
And Dom shows up. Elle shows up.
I know. We also were talking to the people in our viewing party how funny it was. We kept referring to Elle as Dom because, like, as the actress instead of her character. Because to me, it's just like, it's Dom.
Yeah.
Evil Dom, but Dom, you know. Evil Dom is my favorite Dom. All kinds of scare roused, you know.
I also love the scene sort of ends because Carmilla falls to the ground as well, and Laura thinks she's dead, but she's not dead. She's just definitely a vampire again for realsies.
Yep.
You know, they're on the floor. She's hugging Carmilla to her, and it totally mirrors the series finale. Yeah, and the web series, right? Where at the very end of season 3, where Carmilla's holding Laura when Laura dies but then gets brought back. So I liked that. It was a good throwback for fans of the web series. There's a lot going on. There's so many emotions. There's so many things happening right now because you have everyone just disappeared. Laugh just disappeared. Carmilla, died / became a vampire again. And so you have Perry and Laura coming from very different places in terms of like what their priorities are, you know, because they're both fighting for like the people that they love.
Their love.
I know, but they want different things, you know? So Perry's primary thing is to get Laugh back. Like, they disappeared, they need to get them back. And then Laura's thing is, Carmilla's a vampire again. How do we make her human, you know? And
yeah. And I'm like, but how do we get Elle her happy ending? You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's my priority.
And then there's Ellie's priority, which is Elle. She's a little different from some of our other protagonists in the film, but that's okay.
I don't know. I love her.
And what I love about this scene too is I love, you know, once Carmilla wakes up and is like, I'm not dead, I'm here. I like that she reassures Laura with the 5-year plan. Like, smooth move, Carmilla.
I know.
That is the way to her heart.
We're still gonna do the plan. Drink again for the plan.
Always drink for the plan. It's a far cry from the young, naive Carmilla that we see in our next dream sequence. So drink again, you guys.
This dream sequence just kills me every time. And I'm sorry, this is why I root for Elle. Girl did not even know that her lover was a vampire.
Yeah. We have young, naive Carmilla who's going to take us to New York. And she is just, it's such a different Carmilla for her to play, you know? And I love that.
Yeah, than we've ever seen. And I actually really like Natasha that way.
I do too. It's like, it's a very new side of her, you know? We're so used to like broody, angsty, confident, I've been around for hundreds of years Carmilla. I love when we get to see just, you know, youthful, innocent, like almost ingenue Carmilla. She's very different. But nothing's going very well. Nothing's going according to plan. Elle is sort of stalking around, getting more people. We have Kirsch disappearing in a little dust pile as well with his little sandwich
on top. Oh my God, poor Kirsch. Literally, when I see just a sandwich on a pile of ash, I love it.
Best. So everyone's sort of getting disappeared into the nightmare dreamscape. Which they kind of gloss over how Elle is doing that exactly, but that's fine.
Yeah, we're just gonna forget about it.
The next thing I want to talk about, though, is the tea sequence where she's kind of in... I think we're blurring the lines now of, like, what's a dream, what's reality, what's in the schloss, what's in someone's head. But she has tea.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Knows, right?
Yeah. No clue.
But they have this great sequence where she's like, do we have to do this again? And Elle's like, ugh, fine. And so they just like sit down and have tea together. And I love it. I just love this scene.
Yes. She's like, okay, I guess we won't do this dreary thing. Let's
just have tea.
Even in this movie that is about freaking vampires and dead ghosts and whatever, there's so many things that are so gay. Your girlfriend's ex-girlfriend warning you about her. She's gonna break your heart just like she broke mine. Like, too much.
Over tea, pinkies out, you know.
Over tea. Yeah, over tea. Super civil ex-girlfriend talking to current girlfriend. Like, I'm trying to help you, girl.
And
are you?
And I love this scene too because it's just, this is, I think, the scene for me where you can really see Dominique shine as an actress. Like, her face in this scene just does so many things. There's so many little, like, things or expressions or twitches or like how she reacts to things that Laura says. It's great. It's a great scene. And so they come up with this plan, right, to try to trap Elle. I think Laura comes up with this plan. Someone comes up with a plan. They're going to trap Elle. They use Charlotte as bait.
Yes.
Which doesn't work out super well because she still gets sent to the dreamscape. Which I have a bone to pick with that, because I thought the whole thing about Elle sending all of these people to the nightmare, you know, dream world as part of the ritual, that the only reason that it hadn't worked was that Laugh threw themselves in the way and Charlotte didn't get sent to the nightmare world.
So now Charlotte's there. So what's the problem? Right? Okay, well, I feel like maybe the problem is that Laugh's not supposed to be there. Like, that humans aren't supposed to be there.
Oh, maybe.
So it's that Laugh went in, not that Laugh went instead of Charlotte.
Okay, I'll take it.
Let's say that's that.
Good work. Good logic.
Yes.
I like it.
Right?
But they have this fight sequence. They're trying to trap Elle. Laura breaks out her Krav Maga finally.
The one thing I love about this scene is that Elle's like, oh, you're not serious. You're really trying to trap me. You know, she's like, wait, This is ridiculous. Bye.
She's like, silly humans.
Yeah. Silly humans, you're idiots. And then she just kills everyone.
So now everyone's stuck in a dreamscape, right? Everyone is in this nightmare realm where you're just supposed to relive your biggest regret over and over and over again. Sounds super happy. I don't really understand the whole thing of why Laura starts out waking up in like a white room and then has to find everyone. But either way, Laura's kind of going through to try to find everyone and save them all from the dreamscape.
So yeah, my favorite thing is that Laura's nightmare is that her 5-year plan doesn't work out, right? And it just says on the board, Comic-Con canceled.
Which is the worst.
I'm like, oh, poor girl. Her Comic-Con got canceled.
I know. Mm-hmm. Life is over. Life as we know it. My favorite thing in that scene, or somewhere around that scene, is Laura has this one line where she says something about, have I ever gone down without a fight? And I love it. It's like a shout out to like the Legends of Tomorrow stuff right now with like, when did a legend ever go quietly? Like, I like that.
Yes.
So Laura's like on a mission. She's like, F this, I'm gonna save everyone.
And Laura is a Krav Maga badass.
She is.
She is a weapon.
So she starts running around, and I think she finds Carmilla first, right? Ends up in Carmilla's nightmare.
Yes.
And so we finally get to find out what happened with Carmilla and Elle. We finally get to see
and it's just,
the famous breakup.
It's just so rough.
It is rough.
It's so rough for her to have to see that again. Because you can tell, like, she thinks she could have done something to prevent it, right?
Yeah.
I go back and forth with Elle here. I feel for her. But also I'm like, you're an idiot.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel for you, but you're stupid. No. But like, if she just didn't go with her freaking crazy mother, maybe they would have still been in New York right now.
Yeah.
Just having a ball.
I mean, I understand. It's like, oh, I found out that, I'm dating a monster. Like, whatever. But she's like super dramatic about it, like with the whole like, well, she drank my blood with the hand bleeding everywhere. And you're like, A, why did you need to like slice your hand open for this to work? Like, that seems.
Yeah, that was too much.
Like,
that was too much.
It's a little overkill, right?
Yeah.
And B, like, maybe talk it out. Come on. Like, we're lesbians. Process your feelings, you guys.
Exactly. Just have a little chat and then you would not have died.
I know, and poor Carmilla, like real Carmilla's like just cowering in the corner, like watching this over and over and over again. Just
yeah, it's rough.
Ugh, it's so sad. So luckily Laura finds her. She's there to pull her out of her, nightmare dreamscape loop regret.
And then we have this whole scene with Carmilla and Laura on the staircase, right?
Yeah.
And this one just gets me too, because then Laura's like, what about our grandkids? What about our children?
Well, because Carmilla's being so noble, she's like, how is it fair that I get this life? And really questioning whether she thinks that she deserves the life that she has with Laura. And it's sad.
It is sad.
So sad. Like, I feel like Carmilla's like the hard-hitting journalist now in this scene, which you'd think should be Laura.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Laura, God, I have my note for this scene. It just says, this scene is ripping my heart out.
Yeah,
like Laura's face
so
the whole
much.
time.
But then also the thought of Carmilla and Laura having kids is like, it rips your heart out. But then you're also like, oh, but that would be so cute.
I know.
Ugh. And then, yeah, Carmilla will just be this 25-year-old forever. Yeah, she said, how can we have our life if you're just going to live life as a 25-year-old forever? And I'm like, wait, can I do that? Too late.
Too late. You could do 25 again. It's fine.
Yeah.
We could do 25 a couple times.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Sure.
Forever. Forever.
But I think it's, this is kind of the crux of the movie, because it is. I mean, I think it's something that they did really well in terms of, Elle is the villain of the movie, but she's not coming from a different place. They're just, it sort of really gets at that heart of like, everyone thinks they're the good guy.
Yes, and I still think that Elle's the good guy.
I know you do. I know you do.
She just wants her life.
But you know who the real good guy is? It's Laura, who's like busting up this dreamscape, saving everyone from all of their nightmares.
Yes.
They go find Laugh. They go find Perry in her strangely bureaucratic nightmare.
I know. I'm like, it's not really that strange. That seems normal to me. But yes.
They go find Kirsch, who's being hunted again.
Oh,
poor Kirsch.
Well, then there's a point where when Laugh takes Perry out of the dream, she goes, "Oh, I could just kiss you."
Yeah.
Right? But then she doesn't.
But then they don't.
I'm like, why
Come
didn't
on,
you just
Perry.
kiss them? Come on.
Here's the thing. I know they're like, they're teasing the show right now, and is it going to be a TV series or something? I say we need the show just so that we can have like a slow burn LaFerry endgame.
Yes, LaFerry endgame in 7 years.
Yeah, right? Like 7 seasons. Like, I would wait for it that long. That's okay. If they wanted to do that, like, sign me up.
It's
I'll
like
be
a
there.
bones burn.
But better, because it'd be LaFerry.
Yes.
So now we have it's like Ritual Take 2, Electric Boogaloo. This time with a cake.
Yeah, and then Laura says, it's a cake now. Don't ask.
Why not? I mean, look, if things in my life just randomly turned into cake, I wouldn't ask.
Yeah, no.
I would take the cake.
Does Kirsch eat it or like do something weird?
Oh, with the cake? I don't know, does he?
I feel like he would, but I don't think he did in the movie.
There's like a behind the scenes shoot somewhere
of just Kirsch eating the cake, and then the whole ritual's ruined.
Yeah.
Oops.
But Elle shows up to try to stop the ritual. Luckily, Gertrude is there to save the day.
Oh, Gertrude, our fave.
Our fave. So Mel finally gets to bust out her weapons are the best weapon and like straight up shoots Elle in the shoulder. It was pretty badass.
It was pretty badass. And Mel gets her happy ending too. Happy-ish, right?
Does she? Are we calling that a happy ending?
I guess it's not that happy, but she does get a kiss.
I know. And that last line of like, thank you for the dance. I wish there could be another. And you're like, me too.
Yeah.
There should be another. But no, instead, our fair Bronte sisters depart, not to a nightmare dreamscape, but onto whatever afterlife comes next. Which I guess is, best case scenario for ghosts.
Yeah. And I do still think that Elle gets her happy ending. Because at the end, you see her, when she also goes to her peace or whatever, you see her smile.
Yeah, it's subtle, right? It's like a subtle little look.
Yeah, but Dom crushes that acting game, and I saw it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. Everything has been set right, I guess, as right as we're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So ghosts have moved on. Carmilla is a vampire again. Everyone, all of the Silas crew is back. And they all wake up, and my favorite thing, so I have this note when they're all waking up from this whole ritual, because we watched this with the closed captions on. I think my favorite closed caption in the entire movie happens now, and it just says, beautiful electro music.
Okay. I mean, but shout out to the soundtrack. It probably was beautiful electro music.
Oh, yeah. I mean, great soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great. My other question is, so Elle and Carmilla, wake up and...
You mean Laura and Carmilla?
Yeah, sorry. Laura and Carmilla wake up
Twist.
and are having... Ha ha!
Laura and Elle have switched bodies.
Oh my god, that would be a twist, right?
Yeah.
No. Laura and Carmilla wake up and everyone else is waiting outside for them with their suitcases, ready to go. When did they pack? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Well, I'm assuming also probably Laura and Carmilla had a lot of sex, and they were like, all right, while you guys are having sex, we're just going to go. Bye.
You think they just snuck that in?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're not in a nightmare, ritual dreamscape world anymore?
Yeah.
Better bone.
Yeah, probably.
I could see it. I mean, take advantage of the schloss while you're on vacation.
Right?
Now that the ghosts are
Corsets
gone.
and all that.
Yeah. Carmilla's like, let's get you in that dress one more time.
Just
and then
one
out
more.
of that dress one more
Just
time.
one more time. Yep.
So they wake up, they head out, everyone's ready to go, they fly back home. We have now picnic take 2. Everything is electric boogaloo. Everything gets a second round. So we have another picnic, figuring out what comes next. I think everyone's just kind of trying to plan, especially Laura, what do you do?
Of course.
Without a plan.
What do you do? And then there's this beautiful Carmilla line that I just need to shout out. They're sitting there snuggly, whatever. And she's like, I'm just going to go get some blood, babe. Like I'm just gonna grab a beer.
Just casual.
Just gonna get some blood, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want anything? Blood, LaCroix, whatever. Anything?
Anything?
Also, we get to see Danny.
I know.
Hey, Danny. I don't know why she wasn't in more of the movie, but
I'm gonna assume it was
fun.
scheduling conflict.
Yeah, but it was nice to see her at least a little bit.
Yeah, no, it was good to see her at the end, and her and Kirsch back together again.
Yeah.
Cutie pies.
If they do have a series, I hope she gets to show up too.
Oh yeah, me too.
Also, Mel looking bomb in the blue shirt that she's wearing in the second picnic. I just want to shout out whoever picked that out. Costume. Nice job.
Mel is the MVP of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like in the series, I liked her, but I love her in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think she takes a bit to grow on you in the series, you know? Like, she does by the end. I loved her in the show, too, but I feel like, yeah, in this movie, man, she like, comes out swinging out the gate.
She shines. She shines.
She really does.
And yeah, she also has a great line, like, you never had a crush on a dead girl.
Haven't we all?
Classic.
That sounded creepy. In media, you guys. In media.
Yeah.
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 But they, everything is kind of wrapping up, and Laura realizing that she and Carmilla will make some sort of life together regardless because they love each other.
Some serious Benjamin Button shit.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
They're adorable. They're adorable, and that's kind of where we end the movie is them saying how much they still love each other. Ugh. My heart.
I know. Then we get to the credits. And I just love her. She says cream Puffington Post.
Yes, I love that. Oh my God.
So Laura is a freelance journalist now, which we found out in the end. She's a freelance journalist who specializes in supernatural, basically.
Yeah.
And in one of the post credits where she's talking about different events, the president is a lizard creature with very small hands.
With very small hands. I did not notice that my first time watching the movie.
Yeah.
The kind of like not so subtle shout out.
It was like incredible
I
Trump joke,
that.
Ladies. Incredible.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
Well done.
Snaps.
Yes. One more thing in the credits. The pictures.
Yeah, I know.
There are pictures of Carmilla and Laura with a baby.
With a baby, which they don't really explain at all.
No, they don't at all.
It's there.
One of our Lez-ssentials viewers also told us that the baby in the credits is Melanie Windle's baby, who's one of the producers on the film.
So I don't know if the baby's a setup or something, but we also get this post-credit scene. I feel like they left themselves a lot of room to like continue doing Carmilla things,
Yes, which
so we have all these photos in the credits, and then there's this post-credit scene that's back at their apartment.
And shout out to Carmilla's Ouija night shirt. That's all.
Yes. Oh my God, I love that shirt. If anyone knows where you can buy that, send us that.
Yes.
I want it.
Yes.
And what I love about the post-credit scene, too, is they do this, like, huge fake-out where she, like, goes to the fridge. You get the side shot where she's opening the fridge door, and there's the creepy music, climbing. And then she closes the fridge door and there's nothing, So they, like, totally fake you out with, like, someone's gonna be behind the door. No, they're not. And then she turns around and Maddie walks out from the other side of the fridge. Which, like, I love this. It's like the last 5 minutes of this movie, all of a sudden, you get all these other people showing up from the web series that we haven't seen in the movie.
Yes, which I love. And isn't she dead?
She was dead, but then she was dead was like a vessel or like a communication vessel for like some underworld.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Person or something, right? In the last season of the show.
Now she's back. It's fine.
So now, then they don't really explain, what is Maddie's deal now, but she's there to let Carmilla know that the giant fish god had an alarming number of eggs, which I think means that we better go back to Styria, but that might have to wait for whatever comes next.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's it. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. That's a movie, you guys. They made a movie.
What a wonderful series.
It really is.
It's just, one of the few things that is just a bunch of queer people and no qualifiers for it. Just, this is life.
Yeah.
And of course we're all queer. Great.
Right.
Which I love.
Which is so much more accurate, right? I mean, we've talked about this before. We don't usually just have, you know, like the one gay person in your group of friends. Like, we travel in packs like this.
Yes.
Where everyone just seems to be kind of queer in one way or another.
We really do. Of course, every Lez-ssentials comes with a drinking game. So here are the drinking game rules for Carmilla.
Be brave, you guys.
Be brave. I love, too, when we were at Klexicon, a few people came up to us and said they're actually doing the drinking games. We love hearing that.
Yes. Oh my God. Or if you watch them and do them, people will tweet at us, like live tweet as they do the viewings of whatever Lez-ssentials they're watching with the drinking game rules. It's fun. It's fun for us, you guys.
Oh my God, it's so fun. So please keep doing it and please keep living through them. But here are the rules. Number 1, anytime Carmilla calls Laura something edible.
Hey, cream puff.
Yep. Anytime Elle pops up out of nowhere. Anytime Carmilla vamps out, which we know is a few times. Anytime they have horror movie references, which is really interesting. They have a bunch of, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, and that's the only one I can remember right now. But they have a bunch of horror movie references.
Yeah, well, or even the thing with the fridge door that we were just saying. I think that counts.
Yes. Callbacks to the classic horror movie genre. Drink. Anytime Laugh and Perry bicker.
Oh, LaFairy.
Anytime Kirsch is eating.
So basically anytime Kirsch is on screen. Yeah.
Every time Laura says the word plan or plans, which will get you real wasted. Save that one.
Yeah.
And also another one destined to really hurt you. Every time there is a dream sequence.
That's like 50% of the movie, Ellie. I think you're trying to kill people now.
Yeah. You can find our drinking game rules on our website at lezhangoutpod.com.
The other thing you'll be able to find is our Q and Gay questions.
Q and Gay.
Are you ready? Are you ready for our Carmilla Q and Gay, Ellie?
Yes, I am, Lee.
Okay. Let's do it. Ready?
Yes.
Q and Gay.
Number 1, which is, it's going to be an attack, so just be ready.
All right, I'm ready.
What is your top ship of the movie? Is it Carm and Laura, Carm and Elle, Laugh and Perry, or Mel and Charlotte?
Oh, God.
I know. I'm sorry.
I mean, I know this is blasphemous. I love Elle so much. Can I say me and Elle? Is it weird to be with someone with my same name? Okay.
It's not one of my choices.
My real answer is Mel and Charlotte. I think they're the MVPs of this movie.
I think so too. Charmel.
I'm in.
Charmel for the win. Okay, question 2. 5-second rule. Real thing? Yes? No?
Honestly, I know that's probably gross for me to say, but yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I'm not wasting that food.
Why not? Okay, question 3. What would you do with a vampire trust fund? Would you go travel the French Riviera? Would you invest it? Buy an Austrian Schloss? Or, like all good millennials, pay off your student loans?
Oh, God. Yeah, I definitely have to pay off my student loans. Ugh, that stinks. I want a Schloss.
Maybe you can make a 5-year plan, too, at the same time.
Maybe I'll invest, and then after that, I'll pay off my loans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good choice. Okay, question 4, and this is like a personal attack for you, Ellie, specifically.
Oh,
so you're welcome for this.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Dom with her British accent or Dom with Waverly's accent?
Okay. You're right. Unfair, but British gets me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The natural Brit accent. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how that one comes back online.
Yeah, that one's going to be big.
Let us know, you guys, because I think that's going to be a tough one. Question 5. What is the best weapon? Is it knowledge, Krav Maga, or weapons?
Krav Maga.
Because you are the weapon.
I am the weapon.
We should take some Krav Maga together.
Really should.
Maybe when I'm less pregnant and full of baby.
Yeah, that'd be great. And we're in the same place.
Yeah, right. Someday.
So never.
So like Klexicon next year.
Oh my God. That'd be amazing.
Okay. Question 6. Last question. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
What is sexier, chokers or corsets?
Oof. Oh, sorry. Wait, I just got real flustered.
I'm sorry.
I also was about to say choking. That's so bad.
That is not one of the choices, but if we need to get like a little more, real talk right now, Ellie, we could do that for you.
We're not going to go there. But Okay, my answer for that one is corsets, because oof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hard to get into, faster to get out of, but totally worth it.
So worth it.
That's our Q&A, you guys. And remember, we want to hear your answers. Those questions are going to be up on our Twitter at LezHangoutPod, so you can chime in as well.
And you can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at LezHangoutPod.
Or you can email us at lezhangoutpod@gmail.com. Let us know where we can buy that Ouija shirt. I want it.
Yes. Or you can check out our website at lezhangoutpod.com.
If you want to help support the podcast, there's a couple different ways that you can do that. The first of which is so easy and totally free. We have paid listens on Radio Public, so if you listen to us there, all you have to do is listen to the podcast the way you already are, but we will make money from it.
Yay!
So to do that, you can find us at bit.ly/LezListen.
And if you want to support us with your Vampire Trust Fund, you can donate to our Patreon at patreon.com/LezHangout. You can join us for our Lez-ssentials viewing parties, and you get a lot of other cool perks on there. So,
like, you get downloads of our Lez-ssentials songs, which another one is coming right up.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yes. We also have merch, so if you want to get some Let's Hang Out merch, you can check out our store at bit.ly/LezShop. We still have our Release the Kiss shirts are up, so if you want to help support that campaign, you can do that, and we will be donating 20% of proceeds from those sales to LGBT Fans Deserve Better.
Yes. And if you want to follow us individually, you can follow me at Ellie Brigida on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can find me on Twitter at LSHFoster.
And like we said at the beginning of the episode, we have an original song titled In My Dreams that we're excited to share with you, so be sure to stick around after sign off to listen. And with that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
In my nightmares I return as my cheeks begin to burn, staring at me with disgust and nothing left to be discussed. She leaves me broken, heart ripped open, knowing that I'll never be what she wanted from me.
In my dreams I see her like she was before, knowing I should fear her but wanting more. Her soul is broken, but I can open my own. I see the woman she could be.
This guilt I can't escape.
She hides, but I know better.
These sins I haven't paid
were meant to be together.
In my nightmares I return as she cheeks begin to burn, staring at she with disgust and nothing left to be discussed. She leaves
her soul is broken, but I can open my own. I see the woman she could be. 'Cause even in the darkest night, the smallest spark can give you light to help you find your way. There's nothing out there we can't fight. No woman left behind. I'd give my life to save you.
'Cause in my dreams
I see our future.
In my dreams
it's always you. In my dreams
I see our future.
In my dreams
it's always you.
in
buffet brawlers, glory holes gone wrong, cannibalistic castration cabins, public poopers? These are just a few of the crazy topics you'll hear covered on Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the pettiest podcast around. Whether you need a break from all that murdery true crime stuff, or just enjoy hearing hilarious stories told in a unique way, I got what you need. I'm Leroy Luna, your fearless host/chauffeur. So come hop in my minivan and let's go for a ride. I promise you probably won't be disappointed. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, basically everywhere you consume podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of the month, baby!